Hi, and welcome to yet another episode of TTMF's Home Smart video series. I am Mark Anthony, your host, and I'm joined by Marsha Ray Lieben and Lisa Granham of the Trinidad and Tobago Mortgage Finance Company Limited. And today, ladies, we're talking about lump sum payments. Marsha, I'd like to begin with you.
Sure.
Tell me exactly, what is a lump sum payment?
All right. Just as the name says, lump sum payments is a payment that you can make on your mortgage. Now, your mortgage is normally broken up into regular installments and interest, but you can at any time make a bigger payment on that monthly installment. So, for instance, if you get a Christmas bonus, a little overtime, you win a cash pot, you get some money in your hand, you can take that money and pay towards your mortgage. It's also very important to note that when you're making that payment, you make that payment towards your principal. So don't just walk in and say, take this money.
You know, and that's a very important point you made there, because some people, they would just go over the counter and make a lump sum payment, as you defined it, lump sum payment, but not specifically saying where it should go.
Right.
So you should tell the person at the counter,
Yes.
I am making this to my principal.
To my principal.
Right.
Yeah, and that is important because that is how you help manage your interest costs. Right? Interest is calculated on the reducing balance. So once you make a lump sum payment on your principal, the next time interest calculates, it's going to calculate on a smaller amount of money.
Okay.
So your interest will go down from
That's
time to
wonderul.
time.
Now, Lisa, I want to bring you into the conversation. We're talking about lump sum payments. Why should I go and make a lump sum payment? I got a nice little piece of cash pot here now. Why should I take my cash pot money that I have here? I'm saving. I want to put it under an orchid. Why should I go and Why should I go and make a lump sum payment?
Because as Marsha rightly pointed out, it allows you to manage your interest cost, and nobody wants to be paying interest to any financial institution if it is that they can get away from it. So, as she would have pointed out, interest is calculated on your principal balance. So the more funds that are applied to your principal balance is the less amount of interest that you're going to pay once it's calculated at the end of each month.
All right, so that balance reduces based on the interest is added on a monthly basis. And also, when I make my lump sum payment, it brings the principal down.
Correct.
Right? And if I don't clearly indicate that I'm making this lump sum payment towards the principal, what happens?
You would be actually prepaying your loan
So
rather than the amount being applied to the principal, to reducing your principal balance.
So I would have actually prepaid, let's say, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months ahead.
Correct.
All right, so I am still in the same position, really.
You're still paying the same amount of interest.
I'm still paying the same amount of interest.
Yes.
That's correct.
Okay, so we understand right now the benefits of lump sum payments. Now, are there any penalties to lump sum payments? Because as we were talking a little while ago, some people might have been sending in messages. They're not always sure. We have a 2% interest rate or a 6% interest rate. Is there a penalty within a specific period of time? If I pay within the first 10 years a lump sum payment, no penalties? What is it?
There are no penalties for making lump sum payments.
At TTMF.
Thank you, Lisa.
I like that.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
There are no penalties, and there are no penalties for early repayments. You can also make those lump sum payments as often as you like. And you don't have to wait until you win the cash pot either. You can make smaller payments so that if you have additional income, an amount that is equal to the mortgage installment, you can probably make that every month, once a year.
What about in terms of being able to a declaration of funds through lump sum payments? Is there a cutoff point to say that I can only pay $20,000 a month, I can only pay $30,000 a month, and if I'm unable to declare those funds, do I have a problem at this point?
According to the FIU regulations, all persons are required to complete a source of funds, and we comply by them. We are going to look at your circumstances and determine whether or not. So if you win the cash pot and you have $50,000, we want to know where that money come from. If you have a blesser, we want to know where that money come from.
Right.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. So there is no limit on terms of when we're going to ask you a source of funds. We just want to ensure that your circumstances are such that allows you to make that payment.
Are there any benefits if I make the lump sum payment at the end of the year as compared to making them quarterly or monthly?
No, the interest is calculated monthly. So it doesn't matter when you make it. At end of every month is when we would calculate the interest going forward. So you can make it at any time. It's not an annual interest. It's any time. It's every month it's calculated. So you can make the payment anytime.
So are we at the point right now that persons are really getting the message that it is beneficial to homeowners? And what about, we're talking about homeowners here making lump sum payments. Is lump sum payments limited to new homeowners as compared to persons who have had an existing mortgage over a period of time?
No, all mortgage holders with TTMF are entitled to this benefit. Once it is that you make a payment directly to a principal payment directly towards your mortgage with us, be it for a property, be it for land, be it on an equity, the same benefit applies.
So ladies, I want to thank you very much once again for joining us. And of course, those of you who are watching, remember you can continue to follow this series, the TTMF Home Smart video series. And of course, you can send us your questions and comments on social media. Join us again next time.